Language is thought to be a universal ability that every human possesses. However, what happens when language acquisition is not as automatic as it is schematized about? In this presentation, we are going to learn about the modularity of language and theories on cognition of language. Modularity of language states that at least some parts of language rely on a dedicated domain circuitry. However, this in of itself is only a theory. Should this prove to be correct, language should be a separate cognitive entity of other skills in cognition. But language is anything but that simple, as we can see with two language-related disorders, Williams syndrome and specific language impairment. Williams syndrome is a fairly rare disorder in which language production in children are intact, but cognitive skills are compromised. This is due to a deletion of 20 genes on chromosome 7, which are linked to cognitive functioning. Those with Williams syndrome are often described as loquacious, socially complicated, and lacking of social fear. This can be attributed to the compromisation of the cognitive system that, when intact, give important social cues that let people know an array of aspects when socializing. Moreover, Williams syndrome patients have difficulties with aspects such as spatial cognition, sentence processing, and memory. A 2006 study conducted by Korenberg et al. Illustrates these challenges by asking child test subjects with Williams syndrome to first describe an object and then attempt to draw that object. Results show that those with Williams syndrome can accurately describe objects. However, when it comes to the visual representation of them, the child cannot produce the object visually accurate. Despite these difficulties, however, Williams syndrome actually is consistent with the theory of modularity. Cognition skills can be compromised, but language will generally be intact. Another example along these lines comes from those affected by specific language impairments. Specific language impairment, or SLI, is a language disorder where early development of language is delayed or lacking in using certain aspects of the language. This is especially apparent in the uses of morphology and syntax. Subtypes may include grammar-specific or a broad lack of linguistic knowledge. This is seen in the WUG test of morphology, in which children across 5 languages were tested on morphological skills, including pluralization, compounds, and past tense. Findings found that, no matter in what language, children in SLI scored worse in every skill tested compared to their control group.